You've done the site visit. You've built the estimate. You've sent the quote. And then the customer comes back and says, "We really like you, but the number is a little higher than we were expecting. Is there anything you can do on the price?" And in that moment, most contractors do one of two things. They either cave immediately, drop $200 or $300 off the top just to close the job, or they get defensive and the conversation goes sideways. There's a better way to handle this, one that respects the customer, protects your margin, and actually closes more jobs at better numbers than discounting ever will. Before we talk about how to respond, let's talk about what discounting actually costs. If you're running a healthy margin, say 25% on a job, and you discount 5% off the total price to close it, you haven't lost 5% of your profit. You've lost significantly more than that because the discount comes entirely out of your margin. On a $6,000 job with 25% profit margin, your gross profit is $1,500. A $300 discount, 5% of the job price, takes your margin from $1,500 to $1,200. That's a 20% reduction in profit for a 5% reduction in price. Do that on enough jobs, and you're not running a 25% margin business anymore. You're running a 20% margin business that thinks it's doing fine because the revenue looks the same. Discounting is not a sales strategy. It's a margin leak that compounds silently across every job you give it away on. Something worth understanding about price objections. Most of the time when a customer asks you to lower your price, they're not actually saying your number is wrong. They're saying one of a few different things. Sometimes they're saying they got a cheaper quote and they want to understand why yours is higher. That's not a request for a discount. That's an invitation to explain your value. Sometimes they are saying they are at the edge of their budget and they're hoping you'll meet them there. That's a real constraint, and there are ways to work with it without just cutting your margin. And sometimes they're testing you. They ask everyone for a discount because occasionally it works. If you immediately fold, it signals that your original price wasn't real, which makes them wonder what else about your operation isn't real. Before you respond to a price objection, understand which one you are dealing with. The right response is different depending on what's actually going on. Here are the responses that can work. When they've got a cheaper quote, you can say, "I appreciate you being upfront with me. Can I ask what was different about the other quote? Was it the same materials, same scope, same warranty terms?" Most of the time, the answer reveals the difference. There's different material grade, subcontracted labor, no written scope. Once the customer understands what they're comparing, they often see the value in your number without you changing it. When they are genuinely budget constrained, don't discount, reduce the scope. I can't get to that number with everything we discussed, but here's what I can do at that budget. Then offer a reduced version of the job. Fewer materials, smaller area, phased approach. They get to their number. You keep your margin. The job gets done at a price that makes sense for both sides. What not to say. Never say, "Let me see what I can do," and come back with a lower number without changing the scope. That signals your original price was inflated, erodes trust, and trains the customer to always push back on your quotes. But remember, not every job is worth having. A customer who starts the relationship by grinding on price before the work even begins is telling you something about how the rest of the job will go. They will push back on the invoice. They will find something to dispute. They will not refer you to anyone because they're already framing you as someone who overcharges. The jobs that drain your crew, produce callbacks, and leave you wishing you hadn't taken them are often the ones that started with a price negotiation that went the wrong way. Walking away from a job that doesn't meet your margin requirements isn't failure. It's capacity management. Every job you take below margin is a job that takes a crew slot away from a job that would have been profitable. You can decline professionally. Simply state, I appreciate your time and I understand the budget constraint. If the scope or timing changes, I'd be glad to revisit it. Then move on. The right customer for your operation is out there, and they're not going to ask you to work for less than your work is worth. Your price is not a negotiating position. It's a reflection of what the work actually costs to do right. Understand the objection before you respond to it. Offer scope reductions instead of discounts when the budget is real. Hold the number when it's being tested, and know when the job isn't worth having. A contractor who knows their numbers and stands behind them closes more profitable jobs than one who discounts to fill the schedule. Every time. Next video, what to do when a job doesn't go perfectly and a customer calls back. How you handle a callback is one of the highest leverage moments in a small trades business, and most operators can get it wrong. Subscribe and keep building. See you next video.